Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. Oh, it is Tuesday, November 25th. We are 9 days away from Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Welcome to the stream. I am hyped. I am hyped. I'm going to wait a bit for more people to come in here. First of all, I have to open up my pop up chat. But then I'm going to wait a bit for some more of you to come in because I want to see, have y'all figured out what this Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Countdown series was all about? I don't think anyone has yet. It took a while for people to figure out what the Pokemon Legends CA one was about. It also took a while before people figured out what the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment one was about. So it's good to have little Easter eggs. It's good to have little things sprinkled within that make it kind of fun and engaging. At least that's the intention, you know. But all right, I do see some of you are in here. Let me get this pop out chat ready so we can go and talk good gaming. Like, what are you buying for Black Friday? Anything in particular? There's some sales going on right now on various platforms like eShop, PSN, Steam, Xbox, and at stores, brick and mortar. Of course, everyone's got some deal going on. But anyways, there's the Hylian shield. You know, filming lately and stuff like that. Got things around the house. All right. J Biggs, Mr. NY for life, welcome. How you doing today? Steak 1024, Metroid Prime 4 hype. Yes, sir, that's right. Yvonne Francois, 7295. Hi there. Carlton San, hey there. It is about the best game of 2025 coming out. Yes, it is. I have one other game that I haven't played that I do owe it to the title because of how much hype people have been given it, how well it's done sales-wise, critically reviewed, fans talking about it, etc. And that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I haven't played it, so I don't doubt that it's one of the best games of the year and deserves to be nominated, but I have not played it myself yet, so it's not on my personal list. That being said, I would like to buy it, play it before the year is done, so I can say, yeah, that does take a spot in one of my top 7 if I were to have like a top 7, you know. But absolutely, J Biggs, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is certainly of the caliber of game that is going to be deserving of a nomination in many people's minds as best game of the year. I could tell. Robbie Reigns won. Yo, what's up? How long will live be? I'm going for a Nintendo 64 minutes as the goal. We'll see. Pokemon Fan 34, hi there. Adam Malako 3680, very hyped. Hope more people to pick it up. I think the challenge for Metroid is stubborn people are to it, fans and non-fans alike. I mean, if you're a Metroid fan, you don't get a Metroid game guaranteed, every couple of years. Unlike Mario, who gets to dip his toes in, a 3D Mario, a 2D Mario, a couple of ported Marios into Mario Kart, into golf, into tennis, into baseball. Another remaster here. Another port from a prior console there. Remaster, etc. You don't get that with Metroid. This generation, or last generation, I should say, we were lucky where we did get Metroid Prime Remastered and Metroid Dread. And if you want to go all the way back, technically, in the Nintendo Switch generation, which kicked off Gen 9, we did get Metroid Samus Returns, though for an 8th generation platform in the Nintendo 3DS. So, in 8 years, we did get 3 Metroid games, but 2 were technically a remake slash remaster. Metroid Returns being a remake of The Return of Samus, Metroid Prime Remastered literally being a remaster of Metroid Prime, and then 1 new entry, Metroid Dread. So this is a big deal to get Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I would say if you're a fan of Metroid, of any type of Metroid game that has ever come out, you're looking forward to this. And it shouldn't matter if it's a little bit different, because wouldn't you want to be delighted and surprised? Weren't you not expecting it to go in first person back in the day from SNES passing Nintendo 64 and going into GameCube? And wasn't it for potentially the best, or at least a different type of good? So this is a different type of good. It's going to be fine with the bike. It's going to be fine with some open-ended areas. It's going to be fine with some dialogue sprinkled without, some humor sprinkled without, giving the opportunity for new fans to come in to see what we love while still harnessing on what is integral to the series being fantastic, and that is some of that isolation and exploration and empowering up of this hero, etc., right? Dude. And then if you're new to Metroid, I think this is the best time of any to start. If you're sensitive to first person, spend some of your time in Morph Ball mode. Go third person. Take little breaks and hop on Viola. But be immersed in the beauty of the game, in the soundtrack that you're going to be exposed to, because Retro Studios is super talented. And from what I've heard already, the game is going to be a delight. Even looking back at Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, and the whole series really, it's always filled with beautiful scores. So, this is a Game of the Year contender, 100%. If Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are shadow dropped on Friday, that would be my Black Friday purchase. Oh, that would be good. I agree. But I'm still no Pokemon Coliseum or Gale Network of Darkness this month, hoping for December. Otherwise, I will riot big time. Well, have you already, Pokemon Fan 34, played through what is on NSO? Because everybody's got a backlog. I mean, everyone's got a backlog of games that they either bought, that they didn't finish, or in this case, if you don't look at it, the NSO games that are currently available as titles you bought, look at them as games that were gifted to you by someone that you did not beat yet, right? Like, did you beat Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2, Luigi's Mansion? Did you beat them yet? Or if not beat them, did you play them enough yet to get in some good quality gameplay time? Because while you wait for the game you really want in Pokemon Coliseum or Gale Network of Darkness, well, try those other ones out, you know? But yeah, I do think that before December 31st, we'll get at least one of them. If not, then it would be a little bit odd that despite being shown off when they weren't released in the first 6 months or 7 months of the console's availability. However, if we already have 6 or 7 games, that is pretty much one a month available. So, yeah, I do know what you mean, though. Hopefully they come sooner than later. Sean Black 3223 says, hope this is a big seller for the Big N. Metroid deserves it. I hope so too. It took a long time for us to crack 3 million, and finally Metroid Dread is probably sitting at like 3.25 million, you know? And I think that game deserved even more. But I feel that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, with the biggest install base ever, you're looking at something like 167 million Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2s out there combined. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean 167 million different people, right? Some people buy multiple platforms. However, some people have one platform but multiple accounts because there are multiple people per household that are playing on that one system. So overall, you could end up saying 167-ish million people potential, right? That means a very, very small percentage need to be remotely interested in the game to buy it, give it a chance, and then we're seeing some, major success. Hmm. Approximately 1 in 33 people is what it takes to get this game to sell 5 million. A 1 to 33 ratio. That's not great, but that would be enough to have a whopping 5 million selling. That's what I hope this does minimum. I would like it to hit 5. I would love for it to hit 7. I would be ecstatic if it topped 10. Because I think 7 would probably be equivalent of the Breath of the Wild moment for Metroid. Because 7 would be over doubling the previous one, right? You'd be doing like 2.3 times the previous one. And if you look at something like Twilight Princess or combined Ocarina 2.5 times or 2.3 times that, 12 million times 2.3, now you're looking at 28 million, and then you look at Breath of the Wild in that 37 zone. So hitting 7 isn't quite even that Breath of the Wild moment, but I think it would be majorly satisfactory if it hit 7. But I would love to just see it hit 10, because I feel like 10 would deliver back so much money for the years of investment, and it would build up so much faith in the studio to continue, and this is what we would see going forward. Nintendo knows that not every game that they're going to sell is going to be a 20 million title. They know that. Yet they still invest in titles they want because they want to have a visual imprint on society, on the gamer, that like, hey, we do make a little bit of everything. We have everything that you want under one roof. Metroid is a valuable IP because it's cool, T-rated, more realistic in tone, outer space badassery, So still valuable, even if it doesn't sell, gangbusters. But it would be nice for it to, like, come on, go a little more mainstream in sales. Maybe I might get some Jordans and Timberlands if there are decent sales on that. That'd be cool. Louis M727 is hyped. Heck yeah. We gamers are winning this year. Doesn't matter who you support. 2025 has been great. Really has been. It's a good point. I see some people on X, the other day I posted that I was playing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond at a Best Buy. And today, actually, I was playing it at a GameStop. And a lot of positive comments, a lot of likes and stuff like that. And then you have one person, I didn't know Nintendo made Wii games in 2025. Ha 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 ha. Implying that, the graphics are several generations behind the competition. First of all, they're not. The art design is tremendous. The fluidity is top notch. The gameplay and the precision, the amount of stuff going on the screen, the particle effects, everything is reeking of modern day AAA budget gaming. But I look at someone like that and I'm like, to hate on a company or a game so much is so unnecessary, when in reality, everything is pretty damn good these days. It's just different levels of good. That you could have your favorite company, you could root for your company that you most identify with, or has been with you the longest back to your roots, or has the most amount of fresh IP and franchises that are your favorites. But it doesn't mean that what you don't like the most sucks. That's not the case. It doesn't mean that you have to hate what you don't like the most. It means that if you like Zelda, you'll probably like God of War. And you might end up liking Zelda more still, but now instead of being super resistant to God of War, you play it and you found something else to like too. And on the flip side, maybe you like Ratchet and Clank, and that's your generation, that's your stuff, and you played it and you love it. But you decided to give Pokemon a chance, and you played Pokemon Legends ZA or something like that, or Donkey Kong Bonanza, and you're like, oh wait, some of what I like about Ratchet and Clank exists. I could find it in other games that are on this Nintendo system. Huh. I still like my Ratchet and Clank more, but that Bonanza, you're all right. That's actually pretty good. Wouldn't you want more fun in life than having your blinders on so hard that you are depriving yourself of more joy? That doesn't make any sense. Ah. John Castle, 5987, says Nintendo made sure Switch 2 is stacked with games this holiday season. Truly they did. What a tremendous, by the end of it, it will be 7 months come like January 5th, right? But like basically by December 31st, you're looking at 7 months of availability. Excellent stuff. Welshland, hey Paul, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Good to see you here. Small little man, hello there. Hello there. Are there sales numbers for Kirby Air Riders yet? Have you bought it yet? No to both, but in 2 days, Thanksgiving morning, Thursday morning, we will have data for how Kirby Air Riders did in Japan. And then I should be able to sometime this week, like Friday or Saturday. Wait, what's the 30th? 30th is Sunday. Okay. Between Friday and Sunday, I should be able to get some data on how Kirby Air Riders has done worldwide. Maybe. But definitely from Japan, Famitsu sales, we'll get those Thursday morning. Defo Zappo, I love Metroidvanias. Ori, Blasphemous, Ori games, those are good. Blasphemous and the 9 Souls were awesome. Been playing Last Faith and it's great. Awesome. Egomaniac 87, yo, Metroid Prime 4 looks so good. Heck yeah. Javier Vasquez 625, any hopes Miles McKenzie will be cut down from the final version of the game? Cut out? No. Cut down? I don't even think he's going to be this sidekick that occupies all 35 hours of your main quest. Like, you're not going to find him super early and have him tag along with you. Like, he's not going to be Navi from Ocarina of Time. He's not going to be Fi or Fi, from Skyward Sword, or Midna from Twilight Princess. He's not going to be this character that's there nonstop. I imagine you will meet several different troopers from the Galactic Federation Force. You will help them out on little side quests. And maybe in helping them in more ways than not, that will build up some like group camaraderie points. So at the end of the game, in some kind of final boss segment or something like that, it'll be sort of like a, how in Star Fox games you have more of the Star Fox crew there with you for certain missions to help out if they are alive and well for that stage, versus them being shot down in the repair shop in the Great Fox from the previous mission. Or in Breath of the Wild, you have the 4 divine beasts there to help you defeat Ganon, weakening him a bit. Maybe they'll come back. But, I don't think Miles is going to be there the whole time. And personally, I don't mind it. Dude, I'm going to experience rich, gorgeous graphics in cool, explorative areas, powering up this badass woman in this awesome suit that continuously gets more and more powerful with stunning cinematic scenes, a beautiful orchestral soundtrack, top quality voice acting, different fun things to do, whether I'm in mouse mode, using gyro or dual analog sticks to aim, having a fun time exploring, uncovering new things, building up my life bar, scanning my amiibo. That's so many positive elements that even if I didn't like Miles in the end, which I don't know if I will or not, but even if I didn't, that thing's not going to ruin this gigantic experience, right? There's so much. How fast was it? How smooth was it? How sharp the controls were? How little of a loading time was there? How impressive was the overall art design and the score and the special effects and the particle effects? Any little Easter eggs that I found? How was the HD Rumble? Like, there's so much more to it than this little thing. But I think that Miles is going to be fine in the game. I think he'll be funny, if anything. I think it's going to be a welcomed addition. I think some people are blowing it out of proportion. The next 3D Zelda should be a fusion between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess with open world gameplay. That would be awesome. Miles McKenzie, very excited for y'all to join us on Viewroast next week. Hopefully you can help find me a way out of here. Heck yeah! You've got it. This Thursday is the download for Prime 4 on the eShop. Yeah, Johan Nintendo News. That sounds wonderful. MP4 looks amazing and I'm definitely playing it. But it's just refining that already great formula. Breath of the Wild was a complete reinvention of a franchise, which I'm almost certain is what drove its sales. You know, we're getting third-person gameplay on this bike that we have not had before in a Metroid game. That's going to be new. We are seeing more of Samus in third person, snapping between Morph Ball mode and Grapple Beam mode to be more dynamic looking than ever before. We're getting higher budgeted cutscenes that make this feel more like a sci-fi action flick movie than ever before. I have speculated before, I don't know if this is true, but I think it would be wild if there was a mission where you totally lost your suit and you were Zero Suit Samus and you played around very stealth-like, or on the opposite side, very Ninja Gaiden-esque in third person as Zero Suit Samus with a, pistol whip, lasso, energy beam gun, little rocket boots and stuff like that, acrobatics. That would be really cool. And enough of those elements would say to people, wow, this is not what I was expecting, but this is awesome. This helped elevate Metroid to another level for me. My opinion. Louis M727 says, anyone that thinks Prime 4 looks like a Wii game needs urgent appointment to the eye doctor. Yeah, it's clearly far beyond that. My pre-order will be downloaded on Thursday. Excellent. Have you seen the YouTuber Nintendine? No. I know when I was watching some of Nate's streams, Nintendo Prime streams, he has mentioned, as other people in the chat have mentioned, Nintendine, but I'm not familiar with who they are, what they're about, never seen their content or heard of them until just recently popping up in a couple of people's streams of apparently criticizing Nintendo or Nintendo Switch 2 or downplaying the success or predicting failed sales or something like that, but that's just the brief little bit that I'm familiar with. Defo Zappo, I never cared for graphics. Mal McKenzie is worrisome. Are people freaking out too much? Yes. Does it deserve criticism? Absolutely. Everything could be criticized. It's okay. We'll see. I wonder if this game wasn't called Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and it was, Space Adventure, the game. That sounds really dumb. But Space Adventure, the game, right? And it wasn't Samus Aran. It was a different female protagonist, or male, whatever. Different hero, but in a suit and stuff like that. And otherwise, it was the game. It wasn't Silux. It wasn't the Federation troopers. They were designed a little bit differently. Metroid wasn't the object that was coming into the boss fights and stuff. But otherwise, the game was the same. Same music, same bike, same trooper, same voice actors, same everything else. Same cinematics, except it wasn't Samus Aran's gunship. It was just another ship, right? And there's Miles McKenzie characters in there. And people were playing this amazing first-person adventure game with a cool story and action and music and a motorcycle and amazing graphics and all this variety and gameplay and wow. And yeah, this funny character, Miles. Whoa, cool, yeah. And some other cool characters that they interacted with, and like, oh yeah, I like that guy. Oh, I like that girl. Oh, I didn't like that guy. Oh, I don't like that girl. Would they be that bothered by that one character? Or are people getting pre-bothered in advance because Metroid's supposed to be desolate, isolated, quiet, broody, on your own, exploring, scanning, not being jabbered? That's taking me out of my Metroid element of what I like. It's not my Metroid. If that's the case, I think people have to open up their eyes because things are allowed to change. And if you wouldn't have judged it otherwise, then why are you judging it now? Because it's not what you normally associate with or identify with when it comes to Metroid, right? Be willing to accept it. Now, in the end, if it's not good, it's not good, whether it's not good for Metroid or not good for the space adventure of the game, right? But if it's still good, just not what you wanted, that's okay. Maybe you open to it and it's like, not what I was expecting. I could have gone without that, but for what it's worth, it was good, despite it not being what I wanted in it, you know? Something's unnecessary. Sometimes something unnecessary could still end up being good, even if it's not what you originally wanted, you know? Everyone has been talking about my yellow paint. I mean, I know my suit looks good, but I don't know why they keep bringing it up. He makes a living off of hating on every tiny thing Nintendo does wrong. Nah. That's an interesting take. The one thing that gets me is when people say Switch 2 has no games, like how Nintendo dropped a game every month except for September, plus there are a ton of third-party and indie games. Like, it sounds like salty people that don't yet have the system or want the system to fail. They didn't choose Nintendo as their primary device, and they don't like seeing the success of a platform that they don't own or don't understand, or they don't have the lifelong familiarity, and they see someone enjoying something so passionately where they don't have that same passion in their product continuously getting releases, so they have an element of jealousy, and that's why they emit hate. Sometimes that's just the case, unfortunately. Hey, Tabby Cat Games. Let's see. Everything is so polarized today. You could be a fan of something and still point out problems. I've noticed Hollow Knight fans don't accept any criticism whatsoever. You can love a game and find flaws too. Yeah. I wish the game started as Zero Suit Samus. That'd be cool. Prime 4 looking like a Wii game is better than people saying it looks like a PS2 game. Those type of people I ignore. How did you enjoy Donkey Kong Bonanza? Sons and Daughters 7. I loved Donkey Kong Bonanza. That right now, I've got to say, without having finished Age of Imprisonment, without having, well, I have played Metroid Prime 4 and Beyond, without having played through my own copy of Metroid Prime 4 and Beyond, Donkey Kong Bonanza is like my game of the year right now. It's sort of a DK Bonanza, Split Fiction, and Hades 2 as truly the top 3 I've played this year. Fully, with Ghost of Yote, Age of Imprisonment being like 2 more, making that top 5 rounded out. That I'm sure are going to be there. Well, they're there actually. No, I take that back. They are already there, despite me not having beaten them yet. And then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will no doubt be there. So, like, that's my top 6. Claire Obscura Expedition 33 is the one game I haven't played that I'm sure would probably make that list that I would like to play before it's all said and done. Bonanza is fantastic, though. I gave that a 10. Loved it. One moment, let me get a little. Let me read this text real quick. I wonder if everything was the same but released on PS5 instead of Switch 2, if people would have a problem. Good point. If it was a different game, yeah, it wouldn't matter. The point is people are expecting a certain experience, not saying it's right or wrong. That's just what people are saying. Yeah, that's true, Defo Zeppo. Like, I think the vast majority of people love The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. No doubt. Are there some people that didn't like it because these micro dungeons isn't what I wanted? I wanted my typical 7, 12 dungeons thematically put in there, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. But if you gave a palette swap to Link, changed the music to not be Legend of Zelda music, made the Moblins and Bokoblins not those characters but other ones, adjusted the Hyrule Castle to look a little bit different, and called it the adventure game. You know, starring Paul, and you played as Paul, and everything else of Breath of the Wild was the same. People be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at all these micro dungeons and these big beasts, and like, wow, it's cool. Feels a little bit like Zelda, but different because blah, blah, blah. And like, you know what I mean? If it's good, it's good. My Mario doesn't run on the ceiling. Ah, but Super Mario Galaxy had you run on the ceiling, and it was fun, and it was different, and it was cool. My Mario uses a raccoon tail to fly, but the cape was fine in Super Mario World. The wing cap was fine in Super Mario 64. There are different types of fine, there are different types of good. You know, series and franchises that have been along for decades and decades have to reinvent themselves. They have to change up the formula. There's a fine line in using what is already established from the past and adding new to keep things fresh and not stagnant. Otherwise, you're just doing the same thing over and over. And then you're limited by how many new people come in and play. Because what's the draw? What makes you play this same game that you could have played any of the other previous 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years it was out? If that formula didn't capture you back then, this new one that does the same thing, how is it going to capture you now? Developers have to add new things in there. And as technology expands, as their minds expand, as they get older, as more you young people come on board, of course things are going to change and evolve. So, you know, I loved Zelda for what it was. I was a big fan of the franchise prior, and I liked the flow of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which was different, and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. But The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild ended up becoming my new favorite game of all time. It rivaled and captured the magic that Ocarina of Time did 19 years before. And then on that 20th year in 2018, finally, after playing it for a few hundred hours, I made that decision. You know what? It finally did it. It finally dethroned the GOAT for me. And it became my new all-time favorite. It captured the magic so commonly associated with your youth and nostalgia, but it was able to do that again to a man in his 30s who's a seasoned gamer that's been gaming at that point for decades. That was impressive. Yeah. But yeah, some people have a little more or little more resilience to change, or a little bit more adamant of a nature that if something isn't their way, it's predisposed to being bad instead of a different type of good. Yeah. Hello from Greece. Hello, Freddie Mercury, 3591. Welcome, welcome. Paul, are you going to be sitting on a beach with a volleyball soon? Sitting on a beach with a volleyball soon. Took me a second. Wilson? Maybe published too. Maybe. I don't know when I'm going to cut it, but if I make it to December 14th, that's 4 months. That's a third of a year. It's going to be actually weird for me to shave it. In the beginning, it's like, oh, it's not going to be that weird. It's only a few weeks old. It's only like a month too old. Now I've been seeing myself like this every day for a few months. That, yeah, when I shave it, I'm not going to look in the mirror without, what? Yeah, it's funny. I just voted in the Steam Awards. Cool. Hi, Hmon661, by the way. I want to sincerely thank you all for the support. A few things occurred the past few weeks, and I have been rethinking a few things, but I want those who have been truly there to sincerely know how much the teamwork means. Oh, well, Tabby Cat Games, I'm glad that this community has been there, shown good support, and that, any hardships are softened a little bit by being able to talk to others. So thank you for being here, and I'm glad that you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I just started Expedition 33 on the PS5 to see what the hype is about. It is an excellent game so far. The story is a high point for me. With Black Friday coming up, that is an easy game for me. Like most games I buy when they come out, what I want, when I want it. That one I haven't. If I knew that there was a Nintendo Switch 2 release date of Expedition 33 dropping March 15th, I'd probably wait. Comparable graphics, comparable resolution, performance, frames per second, all that stuff. But I had the benefit of being able to play it physically too. I'll take that on NS2, and I'll wait 4 more months at this point. Though my opinion on Game of the Year would be a little less valid because I would not have played it, right? Otherwise, I might just wait till Black Friday, a few more days, pick it up, and then start enjoying it. Although, then I'm playing through Ghost of Yotei, Age of Imprisonment, Expedition 33, and getting ready for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Like, it's gonna be a busy time. Do you think Silex will have a tragic backstory? This Inferno, 9173? I don't know. I would like to see more of who is the character, why are they the way they are. Very curious. I'm also curious, will they find a way how to bring back some classic baddies in some way, shape, or form? In particular, Ridley, series mainstay. Or they're trying to go a totally different direction. I mean, Silex does carry over from Metroid Prime 3, Corruption. Federation troopers carry over from the past as well. Um, I don't know if we'll see like more classic villains or not, though. I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't wait. I wouldn't mind. I don't think I'd be disappointed if they're not. Like, if Ridley's not in the game at all, I don't think I'd be bummed because I have no doubt that the game is going to have a really cool semi bad guy who I don't imagine is going to be the final boss of the game in Silux, and that he's going to be awesome to fight against. And I also think that all of the new original creative bosses are going to be wonderful. So if there's no Ridley or something, I think I'll be okay. But I would like to see him because just to see how Retro Studios is going to take on a new art design with all this power on Nintendo Switch 2 has me really excited with possibilities. So I'm okay either way. But if I had to pick, I guess I'd want to see Ridley. 10,000 Noodles. Breath of the Wild's a 7 out of 10. Not enough Koroks. I love the Koroks in the game. Years later, I just pick up Breath of the Wild once in a while, don my Korok mask, hop on my motorcycle, and just ride in an area on the Heroes Mode path that I didn't travel through before, despite putting in 500 hours in the game. To be fair, it only records the first few hundred, so there is a possibility that I went over it before. But I try to go to a less densely populated area by lines, and I just find a random Korok. And, like, it's so cool. It's so fun. Sometimes in a brand new way that I didn't know. You could get Koroks in the game this way, too. Amazing. Never gets old. Love Breath of the Wild. 7 out of 10, too much wild. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild was a 10 out of 10. Amazing experience like no other. I agree. Wand of Gamelon. Tears of the Kingdom did things even better and is just peak open world game design. It is amazing. I love Tears of the Kingdom too. Yeah, it's true. I've seen it in Monster Hunter. People want the games to all be the same. I love them all, taken as their own game. True. My dislike is the new mechanics were monotonous, not because I wanted Zelda to stay the same. Not fair to pin us all in that basket. Different people might have just not liked certain mechanics. Like, I didn't mind. I'm not speaking for me or for you, but like in general, somebody out there. Oh, I didn't mind the departure of the more traditional dungeons in favor of the micro dungeon element of it. What I didn't like were the weapon breaking mechanics. That wasn't for me. Or the water making things slip mechanics. That wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a fair criticism. That's a fair point that somebody would have said, I don't like that in this game. And even if it wasn't a Zelda game, if it was an adventure game starring Paul, I still wouldn't have liked it. You know what I mean? And like, that's that person, and that's their own thing, right? So my main thing is, that's a different opinion. My main thing is, yeah, it's still an opinion, but when someone doesn't like it because that's not what they want from Zelda, from something so different that's trying to evolve it, that they wouldn't have had that problem had it been another game, another franchise, that's where I'm like, that opinion's a little bit less powerful, But yeah. Are you getting the Rosalina physical storybook? I'm not, but it looks pretty cool. Probably. I don't have it pre-ordered, but probably. What's your favorite gaming franchise of all time? Nate Dogg 1994 asks. It's kind of a three-way tie, but of the three, I kind of could whittle it down to two. My top three are Mario, Zelda, and Street Fighter. Mario and Street Fighter used to be the two, and then I would say it became Mario and Zelda. And then overall, Mario goes the farthest back, with Street Fighter still being there. Zelda occupies the spot as having the best game of all time for me in Breath of the Wild, and prior to that, Ocarina of Time. But Mario has always had with each new piece of technology, something revolutionary. Being 8-bit NES side-scrolling bliss, the massive expansiveness of Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, that shift to 3D, Super Mario Galaxy, amazing. Super Mario 3D World, 4-player 3D platforming, fun with my wife. Super Mario Bros. Wii, 4-player 2D platforming, fun with my friends. But then you also do have Twilight Princess with a riveting story and changing up the dynamics of gameplay between Wolf Link and traditional Link, and Wind Waker, and how changing up that game was in its sea and exploration across the ocean waters, and Skyward Sword with an amazing story and powerful moments. That it really comes down to like Mario and Zelda, and I think overall I give the slight edge to Mario as my favorite franchise. But it's truly basically a tie between Mario and Zelda, and Street Fighter, like seriously right up there. Like that's my Triforce right there. Mario, Link, and Ryu. Super Mario Brothers, The Legend of Zelda, and Street Fighter. Who asked for a Rick Moranis looking sidekick and Samus on a motorcycle? I'll pass. Lions and tigers and wolverines, oh my. Who asked for it? Probably no one. But is it going to be good and welcoming? Hopefully. Will he be a funny character? Will he have some humorous lines of dialogue? Will he be silly? Will anything that he say make you laugh or chuckle? Perhaps. Will the motorcycle feel cool? Will the HD rumble make the side of the bike when it gets hit from the right or the left, or boost? Will there be some cool explosive particle effects going on the screen when Samus blows stuff up with the bike? Maybe. Maybe it'll be really, really cool. That even if it's not what we wanted before, it will still be neat when we experience it. So, I'm all for it. Derek, Q5H. I can't wait for this game. It's hard to believe that it comes out next week. Absolutely. I was there at that E3, June of 2017, when they announced Metroid Prime 4 is now in development. Like, dude. So happy. So happy that it's finally coming out. Man, 8.5 years later, it's wild. Nintendo Dave QC, what's up? Good seeing you here. Thank you for joining. Hi, Peach. Yep. Peach and Mario both showed up in some shorts recently. Trying to play every mainline Mario game to celebrate Mario's 40th. Just started with DKNES. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of games there. Let's see. Let's start a poll. Okay. We'll put up this poll. Hi, Peach. 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 You want to say hi? No? You stuck? Oh, you gotta go outside. Okay. Inky Matt, howdy everybody. Well, let's see. Okay. Good amount of talk lately on social media platforms. All things Metroid. Folks are hyped. I'm very happy to see it. I know we were trying to reach the Nintendo 64 minute total of the stream, but I do have to run a couple of errands. Any last questions or comments before? Matt Casamassina is excited? Heck yeah, he is. That's a long-time friend from the IGN days. Matt Casamassina. He's big on Metroid. He's stoked. I'm happy. Joey Ferris is stoked. Everybody is stoked. This is a wonderful day, man. This is good stuff for us. Oh, so since I have to go soon, we'll just see if there's any last questions, I guess. Hamstarry8108. What gameplay mechanic are you looking forward to the most about Prime 4? Every Metroid Prime game has that ultimate power-up where Samus has this fully stocked phase-on suit blasting with powerful energy particle effects going all over the screen or something like that. I guess I'm looking forward to whatever is the final most powerful form of Samus Aran in this game that lets her, freeze time, jump in, plump, 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 missile lock on, combination, freeze other element, and take enemies, blast, and revert them back to themselves, or something nuts. I'm just looking forward to her most powerful form of energy blast available. That's it. Without knowing what it is, that's it, If it's not that, it's something that I have not seen in any trailer yet. Like, can you control the gunship? Is there something unexpected, like once you beat the game, you could play through the whole game in third person? Oh, that would be an easy replay through. As immersive as the first person is, I would like to also play through the whole thing in third, behind the back. That would be super cool as an option, If I don't catch y'all between now and Thursday, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to Tabby, to all of you. Yeah, if I don't see you in 2 days. Although I would like to stream Thursday morning. That would be nice. Because we have the Famitsu sale still, And it'd be cool to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Gonna get a Paul Gale Network and a Game Bird live stream from the Game Awards. I'll be at the Game Awards. Is Game Bird going too? Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to meet him. Hang out. Yes, that always a good feeling in Metroid. Yeah, I feel it can happen soon. Yeah. Alrighty. We got in the last couple of questions. We'll close the poll and see what it is. Only 24% of the people here say the game's not for you, but a nice 76% majority are going to get it, either next week or eventually. That's good. I'll be driving, but I will tell Copilot to let me know if you could stream so I could have him turn it on. That's good. All right, everyone. Yeah, 9 minutes shy of our Nintendo 64-minute goal, but it was a good stream. It was fun. It was great catching up. I'll be back on tomorrow, and I hope to be on Thursday morning for a little bit on Thanksgiving itself to at least go over the Famitsu sales. But y'all have a good one. Thank you for being here. November's almost over. See y'all next time. Happy gaming. If you haven't checked out the shorts, if you don't mind going to the YouTube Shorts page, there are some fun ones that are up that came out in the last couple of days. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time one, gotta be my favorite. So cool to put it together. Yeah. Although I've seen a lot of your likes, a lot of your comments already, but if you haven't already done so, go to that Shorts page. Check out the Ocarina of Time short or some of the other recent ones. DK64 was fun too. Yeah, I always appreciate it.